Hey there everybody, this is AdmiralNewkirk, and I'm going to be bringing you a 1v1 cast between EG's Idra and fnaticMsitti. City is, I believe, top 30 Grandmaster, and EG's Idra, well, everybody knows him. We're going to be seeing this game on tal'darim altar. It may be tal'darim altar, but I watched Day 9, so he says tal'darim altar, and at this point it's rubbed off. It's the same reason that if you watch Day 9, you find yourself saying food count, not supply. It's supply, but hey, it's Day 9. So for those of you who don't know, Idra is a very strong macro Zerg. He's one of the better American StarCraft 2 players. He's one of the better foreigners, probably top 8. And he was the only foreigner to last particularly long and have any relative success in Korea in StarCraft Brood War. Now, he wasn't very good, but very few of the top SC1 players are tip top in SC2 the way Idra is. Idra was middle of the pack as pro gamers went in Korea. But MC, MMA, all those guys were middle of the pack as well. The only one who's really good, who was also really good in the first game, was Nada. Nada's was an incredible player back then. I think he won 3 MSLs. And more importantly, Nada's also won a GSL, so he's the only player I can think of who's won both a GSL and an MSL. EG's Idra is continuing just to produce drones, and we see that City is making a Forge Fast Expand. Now, a Forge Fast Expand is probably the safest, well, not the safest, it's probably the strongest economic opener for a Protoss, aside from Nexus First. It's very strong in TVZ, in TVP, or in TVZ, PVZ. In TVP, it's dangerous because Marauders are so good against buildings that, say, a 5 Marauder, 2 Marine push won't actually hold with a cannon. You need something more, and so a Forge Fast Expand is not advised versus Terran, but it is possible. However, versus Zerg, it's fantastic. Pressuring with Zerglings doesn't really work against cannons because they're so good against Zerglings, and Roaches don't cannons outrange the Roaches. Now, the cannons aren't invulnerable behind a gateway, but they are relatively strong versus the Roaches, and if you see someone going heavy Roach, you'll just produce Stalkers anyway. So we see Idra just doing his normal 13 hatch 15 pool, probably the most economical Zerg opening. It's still a hatch first, and it's the fastest I can remember somebody getting a hatch. We also see him putting down his gas. He's not going to be going for anything Spanishiwa style. This is very Idra. The way he works is he goes, I'm going to decide how I want to play, and it doesn't matter if that's effective, that's what I'm going to do. So because of that, Idra does things like Roach Hydra, even though Infestors have proved to be sort of the money unit. Idra does things like 13 hatch 15 pool, immediate gas for Zergling speed, even though it's been shown that the Spanishiwa style is a very strong alternative and lets you get 3 bases quicker. That's just not how Idra works. Idra wants to be the best, and he wants to be the best in his own way. But because of this, he's also incredibly arrogant. And so, oftentimes you'll see him rage quit, you'll see him bad manner, and hilariously, you saw him quit for no discernible reason after his opponent, IMMVP, destroyed his own command center. Idra was going to win in the rubber match, and for some reason he just quit. He also quit to Hallucinated Void Rays, but I'm not going to stop trashing Idra because he's also awesome. fnaticMsitti is doing an interesting play. He doesn't appear to be getting that much gas. He only has 1 geyser, and it's 5 minutes into the game, plus he has an expansion. He also is saving his Chrono Boost. He currently has a single gateway, and I can't quite figure out what he's trying to do. At this point, the normal thing to do on this map would be to get a Stargate, start either pumping Phoenixes, or going from 2 Stargates, or going 1 Stargate Void Ray with some Blink Stalkers. That's sort of the way TVP works after a Forge Fast Expand, because a Forge Fast Expand, that way you can fully wall off and you don't have to worry about destroying some of your own stuff. Idra, meanwhile, appears to be taking up the lair. He goes lair before Roach Warren, and then he likes to go lots of Roaches, lots of Hydras. I think Hydras are an underused unit at this point. I think you can't think of them as a mainline battle unit. You have to think of them as a situational unit. You have to think of them as a damage dealer, not a defensive thing. So Roaches are the ones you want in your main army. Hydras are the ones you want to be harassing with drops and Nidus Worms. Hydras are the ones you want back home defending. Hydras are the ones you want sitting there in the back dealing damage, because they're not hardy. However, they aren't slow. Notice the Stalker has 2.95. Hydras have 2.25 speed, which is faster than almost any other, or pardon me, it's slower than almost all of the Zerg units with speed upgrades, but the Hydras aren't slow. They're faster than Marines, Marauders, tanks, or they might even be tied with speed of Marines, Marauders, tanks. But it just feels like they're slower. They feel like they're slow because every other Zerg unit is fast. It's sort of a case of a sunk speed sort of thing, if you guys get economics. But I doubt it, and so I'm going to get back to this. City making charge and a bunch of gateways. Oh, this is cool. Oh my god. He can go such little gas and then like 20 gateway zealot. Oh, that's awesome, because he just needs gas for charge and armor. Oh, he's getting attacked first. That's on. Now, this would be a great build, I think, against Terran, but against Zerg, I'm interested to see how it works, because charge lots aren't that great versus Zerg. They're still great all-around units, sort of like Stalkers are, but they're not as power units as they are with Terran, because the reason that Zealots work better with charge is because Terran doesn't have any melee units, so you want to get your melee units really close to them. But at the same time, Zerg does have melee units. We see a Nidus Worm going down for Idra. This is a great play. This is the kind of thing you want to be doing with Hydras. You want to be either dropping them or Nidusing them in, because that is the only strong way to get them to where they can deal a lot of damage, and it gets them on creep, where they are strongest. So we see, it appears that City has not noticed the Nidus Worm. Pouring out are a bunch of Zerglings. He's putting down a Queen. Oh, that's brilliant. That way you can get creep in the base completely. Hydra's pouring out, dealing tons of damage. City is in no position to defend this, but he does warp in. It is 7 Zealots. Can he hold here against the 4 Hydras? If not, he can... if he does hold, then the Hydras can simply retreat back into the creep. But there's some terrible positioning here from the Zealots. However, it does look like... Oh, but more Hydras are being flooded in. Meanwhile, back in Hydra's base, he's producing nothing but Hydralisks and Zerglings. And he's in such a good position here. Behind the mineral line, the Zealots can't get to him. It looks like City might just have gone something a little bit too risky with this mass charge lot play, especially against someone who goes, especially against someone who goes Hydras as much as Idra does. City just desperately trying to do anything he can. We see the Queen is dead. More Hydras are flooding in. They're ripping City apart. City's +1 attack upgrade is about to finish, and it doesn't look like it's enough, and City raffle GG's. Yep, that kind of describes it, and it appears that Idra just wants to kill some buildings for a little while. I guess not. Well, Idra left the game too, but the buildings continue to die. There must be some observers still in. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I'm AdmiralNewkirk, and this is the first of probably 5 casts I'll be posting in the next couple of hours. Please, if you know anybody who likes StarCraft 2, send the channel to them. I don't want this for any monetary reasons. I just want to be able to spread the game I love with other people. If you have any games you'd like me to cast, send them. You'll see the email is to the left. Just please include your name and replay. Please include a name and a description of the replay, just so I know what I'm getting into, because sometimes people will double send, and then I inadvertently cast them. And aside from that, just comment, please. Let me know you're watching. Thanks, and see you guys next time.